Member of the kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas.
Ang susunod na programa ay rated PG. Patnubay at gabay ng magulang ay kailangan sa mga batang manonood.
Sama-sama tayong matakam at matuto. Pinoy Flavors with Chef Jayson, where flavor meets heritage.
Yummy! Ayan, magandang araw po sa ating mga ka-flavors. Wednesday na naman at meron na naman po tayong isang episode kung saan marami tayong matututuhan tungkol sa Filipino cuisine at mga pagkain ng ating bayan. So, ang programa po natin ay kung saan hindi lang basta kinakain, kundi pinag-uusapan, binabalikan at binibigyan ng halaga ang bawat kwentong pagkaing Pilipino. So, ngayong episode po, babalik tayo sa napakaraming questions. Sino ba tayo as a country? Paano ba tayo kumain bilang mga Pilipino at ano ang future ng ating food systems, no? Ang guest natin po today, hindi lang basta-basta food content creator. Naalala ko yung first na video na napanood ko from his content was actually about the oldest restaurant in the Philippines. So alam natin na isa siyang taong naguhukay ng kasaysayan sa bawat ulam, pagkain, and way of cooking nating mga Pilipino. Siya ang founder ng Histolinaria Collective, isang digital archive sa social media na nagdo-document ng Filipino food, culture at traditions. Isa rin po siyang cultural journalist, food researcher, filmmaker at cuisinist. Kaya para sa kanya, ang pagkain ay hindi lang niluluto o tinitikman. Ang pagkain ay kinikwento at iniintindi. I'm very, very happy mga ka-flavors to have with me today Rob Villar Cabral of Histolinaria Collective. Good afternoon, Rob.
Hello,
welcome
good afternoon. Hello.
Ayun. Sige, I'll go straight to the first question.
Okay.
Because I've seen your content, sobrang daming historical lens, no? How did our ancestors eat during their time?
Well, they ate quite simply. Most of them were eating either boiled or charring under radiant heat, or as they call it, inihaw Tagalog, sinugba in Visaya. And then they also had tinola or tinula, depending on where you are. And fun fact, are you familiar with that tula itum of
Yes.
the cow soups?
Yes.
So that's a tinola as well. Think about it. It's actually how they call tinola in soup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sinubukan namin gumawa ng tula itong before. Medyo malala yung steps na kailangan mong gawin to do it. But at the same time, parang pag binitawan mo na siya, it becomes a broth. You let go and trust that the pre-colonial process that you did will bring out the flavors of the dish. Diba?
Trust the process.
Yes. Ikaw, at paano nagsimula si Histolinaria Collective? Kwentuhan mo naman kami about it.
Well, what happened was I started this thing through the combination of my love for food and filmmaking.
Okay.
Because I tried also working in the media, in films, and it didn't really work out for me at that time. Maybe it wasn't the right time yet. And I also worked in the professional culinary industry, F&B. But the thing was, I wasn't really feeling it as well. But I was trying. I was more invested in really making that one happen.
Okay.
And then, as luck would have it, during the pandemic, one fateful trip changed it all.
What's the trip?
So it was an excursion to Lilo, Laguna.
Okay.
And I went with my immediate family. We were looking initially for slippers. Yes, because Lilo was known for that, right? But the problem was they didn't have slippers made in Lilo.
Okay.
It was all from Santa Rosa.
Okay.
So I was so disappointed. I said, what? Why is it that? Like, we go all the way to Lilo and we're just going to get things that are imported from some other place. So I was so downtrodden. I was walking along the main street. Tapos nakita ko they were selling mangoes. Not just any mangoes, but tiny mangoes called paho.
The paho, yeah.
Yes.
I saw your video also about it.
Yeah, it caught my eye, man. So I said, "Oi, these things are about to be extinct soon. I might as well buy them now." So I thought about making a video on the process of brining these mangoes, the way that the Spanish colonials did as a substitute for green olives. And
So yung paho, pre-colonial din siya?
No. Like the practice of brining it was during the Spanish colonial period already, and I figured maybe I could record this for posterity. And then after that, for the next generations, if they want to revisit it, they can always go to my page. So that was the start of my journey, or my foray into this marriage of film and culinary arts. So that's the story.
And until now, one-man team ka pa rin?
Yes, one-man team. So I not only make the videos, but I also diversify into making heritage-related products, things that you might not really see in the market, but they're very niche, I will admit. But it's good to start niche so that there's like a word of mouth. It builds a word of mouth, and from there, people will know more about it. Like for example, this paho I made. Initially, it started out as a video, but then I started making it, in jars and selling it. And soon, I guess, people just started, talking about it, like, oh, I got from this guy and all that. And people got curious, and now they've been buying whenever there's paho season. People buy from me, and there's even this restaurant in Quezon City that have been using paho mangoes for their pizza.
Wow.
From my jars, yes. So it's good that in a way that I can somehow raise more awareness for a lot of these things that people don't even know. Because when I was in Laguna, in Santa Cruz, just a few weeks ago, would it be weeks already? Or I guess over a month ago. Paho is from Laguna, from the province of Laguna. But the thing was, when I did a favor for a friend there, and I sold also my products in their food fair. Then I met some of the locals, some Laguncinenses, and they said, "Wow, what is that? I've never heard of such a thing before."
First time ko malaman yung Laguncinense, ha?
Yeah. So that's what they call it, Lagunense.
Okay. Compared to, so when I do menu engineering at trainings, I often think about what kind of flavors would we have appreciated if we weren't colonized. So I wanted to ask, parang paano nag-iba yung food systems, flavors, or just our cooking methods because of the process of colonization that happened to the country?
Yeah, because ever since the Spanish colonials arrived, they definitely affected our cuisines. Not just cuisine, but cuisines.
Yes, madaming Filipino cuisines.
Yes. So for example, I mentioned about our basic dishes would be either boiling or cooking over radiant heat, or making into what was the other one? Kilao, or as the Bisayans pronounce it, kilao, or kilao for the Tagalogs, and kilo for the Kapampangans. I digress. And then also cooking with coconut as well. So those are the tenets of pre-colonial cuisine. And then when the Spanish came along, they also put their sensibilities there. So for example, a lot of our soups, let's look at it this way. A lot of our soups have a foundation in the tinola. But then when the Spanish came along, they added a little bit of their identity there. So for example, nilagang baka.
That's Spanish na.
more of like not entirely Spanish, but then the sensibility is there.
Okay.
Because cooking with beef, we didn't eat beef back then. It wasn't a
talaga?
pre-colonial thing. Yes.
Wow.
We were more of a fish, chicken, vegetables, and fruits for the most
Okay.
part, and root crops and rice.
What were cows for then during that time?
Well, they had. There were actually no proper cattle industry that time. So that was something that the Spanish brought. They had their ranches, the friars had their ranches, and from there it evolved into the local industry that we have today. But before that, we weren't really into beef at all. That came later. We did love pig. Pork was something that we already had since the pre-colonial days. So they would have it again, inihaw, sinugba, or if it's a really big occasion, a whole pig roasted. So the idea of the lechon came a little earlier before the Spanish, but the name came during the Spanish time. Yeah, probably back then they called it also inihaw na baboy, sinugba nga baboy. Fun fact, the term inasal. Okay, so I found out just last year that the Visayans called their lechon inasal nga baboy, especially in Cebu. Like we would associate Cebu with lechon. Cebu's lechon, but for a long time they called it inasal nga baboy. And it wasn't until the Tagalogs arrived probably 20 years ago, so very recent. That's when this whole influx of Tagalog people influenced their lexicon for this certain dish. And you would think that inasal is something just for chicken, pakolod, but it was a way for them to address grilled or roasted meat, usually whole and usually on a spit or through a large skewer. So that's what happened. And inasal actually comes from the word asal. That's a root word, and it's a corruption of asar, to roast in Spanish. So that concept, at least the name, came from the Spanish, but the idea was already there even before they arrived.
Speaking of the lechon, so this is a thought I've had since I was young. The lechon is our national dish.
Yes.
Diba? Is it right to have like such a grand dish to be a national dish? Parang kumbaga, is this the same as Korea's kimchi?
Okay.
Diba? Parang if there's a dish that could...
Yeah. Well, for me, if you were to ask me, the thing is, we're always arguing about a national dish, right?
Yeah.
Is it sinigang? Is it adobo?
Yes.
Is it lechon? But, you know, what makes us different from, let's say, Korea and Thailand, we are an archipelago, so we are several islands, and each of these islands have a different community and different sensibilities and culture. So I guess it wouldn't really be fair to just say, oh yeah, this dish
is for everyone.
Is for everyone, because not everyone has that dish. Right? Like not everybody has adobo, or not everyone has sinigang. And in fact, I learned that sinigang is more of a Tagalog thing. It's not, it wasn't really something that Visayans would eat. And if ever, it came at a later time with the whole Lutong bahay concept. But for me, okay, if you really were to ask me what would be the national dish, I would have to go for any of the kilaos. Kilao. Or however one would like to pronounce it on their side of the archipelago. Because when you think about it, the kilao is the base for paksiw, inununan, and all of these braces with vinegar. It's also from there that we have adobo. And also the asados of Central Luzon. And and so on and so forth. The sisig of Angeles and tokwat baboy. If it's not for kilaw, we wouldn't have any of these when you think about it. So we owe a big part of our cuisine to that.
And
Yeah.
parang di ba may mga discussions pa nga that the ceviche cooking method,
Oh God. yeah.
mas nauna ba yung kilaw kaysa sa...
Yes, because the ceviche came during the colonization of Peru.
Yeah.
And their key ingredient is lime, right? And the limes were brought over by the Spanish through all of these journeys that they've been through, different parts of the world. In fact, yeah, the limes, I think it was Claude Tayag who mentioned it to me, but he came across something of an information that it was because of the dayab here in the Philippines that the Spanish brought it over to Peru or something
Wow.
like that. So, yeah, and the thing is, kinilaw has been around since the Iron Age. So, I know it's going to sound controversial.
Let's be controversial.
It's really a pet peeve for me when I hear people say, "Oh yeah, kinilaw is the Philippine ceviche."
Yes.
But what if
Ceviche
ceviche is the Peruvian kinilaw?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Minsan iniisip ko nga parang sobrang versatile ng kinilaw din eh. You can put meat, you can put vegetables in it. But I wanna go back to this concept of Philippine cuisines na sobrang dami nating regions. Kung sobrang dami nating culinary ways, do you think there's a way for us to summarize what Filipino cuisine really is? Parang halimbawa, if we talk about Indian cuisine, we talk about the magical use of spices. But what makes Filipino cuisine Filipino cuisine? I mean, Filipino cuisine of the now.
There's a secret ingredient to Philippine cuisine.
What is that?
Diversity. Because, yeah, I realized that not all parts of the Philippines have the same preference to
Yeah.
taste. So, like, for example, when I was in Cebu, I learned that they don't like sour food. The closest probably they'll have is a tinolang isda, where they'll put tomatoes and things like that. And then in Western Visayas, they like sour foods there, I must say, which is ironic considering they're known for sugar. Yeah, but
Saan lang yung batuan?
yes, the batuan, which I also learned is all around the Philippines. It just goes by different names. So I went to this Eta community in Morong, Bataan, and they use this leaf called bilukaw for their maasimang manok, as they call it. It's chicken that they put in bamboo, and then they put bilukaw leaves. And then I found out bilukaw is the name they call batuan there. So that was so interesting.
May soups din sila with it? Or...
The moisture from the chicken releases all of the liquid, so that becomes the broth.
Okay, wow.
It's so interesting. And then with the bamboo tube also, there's moisture there. So it's like a bamboo flavored broth. It's very interesting to me.
Is it part of your plans also to go through our different indigenous people and
Oh
understand
yeah, in fact, one of the videos that I uploaded showcased the Aita Ambala, and I even put there the recipe for asimang manok. So if people want to do it at home, they can have a taste of Aita cooking right there, right in the comforts of their own home. It's very interesting.
How about you? Kapag comforts of your own home, what's your idea of comfort food?
Oh, like Filipino or anything?
Kahit ano.
Well, okay, if it's Filipino, it would have to be, I do like tinolang manok with papaya and malunggay.
Malunggay.
Kamunggay, as the Visayans call it.
Sa amin sa mga Ilocano, I mean,
Yeah.
may ampalaya pa.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, I also like ginisang munggo. Yes. So those two dishes are my comfort food.
Were they, I mean, yung munggo nga ngayon, hindi ko pa alam bakit Friday lang siya hinahain, di ba?
You know why they serve it on Fridays?
Bakit?
Apparently. So first of all, it's not the whole Philippines. It's just like in Manila or certain parts where munggo is more prominent. Second, it was because during the Spanish colonial period, Catholicism was really in full swing. So they implemented that every Friday, not just Lent, you have to abstain from meat. Yeah, so munggo was technically like what the Spanish have with potaje, made from peas and all of that sort of thing. So I guess in a way, it became an analog to what they had in Spain, except we had munggo, which was available already at that time. And that's how they ended up using that for their dish on Fridays, and that's why we have Munggo Fridays, because of that Catholicism embedded in us. It's for generations and generations. Even if you're not religious, it just sticks with you.
So kahit sa pag-aaral mo, sobrang connected ng religion, culture, with the way people live their lives and ate their food.
Yes, you know, like I know that religion and politics are very sensitive subjects, but the funny thing is when you talk about them through the lens of food, it becomes more accessible. Like I do a lot of storytelling regarding the origins of our dishes, and during my research, I found that a lot of them have to do with religion or politics.
Like what?
Like, for example, the munggo.
The munggo.
It's very religious. And, ensaymada. Okay, here's one. Actually, it goes even way back before Philippines. So, before the Spanish in the Philippines. So, what happened was there were a Jewish community in the Iberian Peninsula where Spain and Portugal are, and at that time the Arabs ruled both. And then there's a certain group in that area who are Christian. They wanted to reclaim their peninsula back. So they successfully defeated the Arabs, and they started establishing Christian kingdoms within Spain. And the thing was, the Jewish people there, the Sephardic Jews, they found refuge with the Arabs, but now they felt threatened because of the Christians. They wanted the Jews out. So the Jews who wanted to stay, they were given this condition. Yeah, okay, you could still live in Spain under the caveat that you have to convert. You have to convert to Catholicism. So a lot of these Jews obliged, and they convert. They were called conversos.
Okay.
And the conversos did not entirely convert. So some of them were still secretly practicing their Judaistic faith. Yeah, it's for show. and eventually the Christian kingdoms caught wind of this, and what they did was they started to implement these tests. This was this is the start of the Spanish Inquisition. And one of the things that they mandated was, from now on, the use of pork should be in the cuisine, like all in, all out, even with desserts.
With desserts?
Yeah, so lard.
Okay,
yeah. And if the conversos don't mind eating the lard and all of that sort of thing with pork, then they really converted. But if they are reluctant, they get kicked out.
Parang test of loyalty rin ng pagkain during
Yes.
that time.
Grabe, no?
Oo.
And that's actually how ensaymada in Spain came about.
Okay.
In fact, the root word of ensaymada is saim, which is Catalan for fat,
Okay.
which they borrowed from the Arabs. So you can also see that there was an Arabic origin also to the ensaymada, but then they put pork lard in it. And that had been the standard for laminating the doughs. And then when it arrived here in the Philippines during the Spanish colonial period, if I recall, the earliest records that were uncovered were during the late 19th century, so very late. And they were still serving these ensaimadas with pork lard. But then somewhere along the mid 20th century, that changed. People started experimenting, replacing it with butter because they probably thought it tasted good. So, and then there's some, even to this day, like if you go to the certain areas of Pampanga, they'll do both.
So butter and
Lard. Like double the cholesterol. Yeah, that's so sinful. But yeah, you could really see all of that is political and religious. So you would think that you're enjoying something very mundane, but there's a story to that.
Yes.
It tells us of the people.
Yes. Sa susunod, sa pagbabalik po natin mga ka-flavors, pag-uusapan naman natin itong politics at religion and food na sinasabi ni Rob. What kind of systems will we have kung fully engaged ang ating mga kababayan at mga Filipino chefs in the industry? Sa pagbabalik po yan ng Pinoy Flavors with Chef Jayson.
Kaibigan, if your relationship with your partner is full of dishonesty, lies, and you're just being fake, then that's a red flag. It's like sharing fake news to people on the internet. IBC 13 strongly believes that fake news is abuse, and it's definitely a red flag. Because misinformation causes harm to people, to an organization, and even to loved ones. Let's not be toxic or be a red flag. Let's be green flags and spread factual news, because fake news is abuse.
Ayan, so nagbabalik po tayo sa Pinoy Flavors with Chef Jayson. Kasama po natin si Rob of Histolinaria Collective. Before the break, pinag-uusapan po namin yung konsepto ng pagkain na nakadikit sa religion, sa ating mga everyday political and cultural beliefs. Kanina kinikwento ni Rob, no, yung ensaymada was a test para malaman kung nag-convert na yung mga kababayan natin to Christianity. And in fact, if we look at history, marami ring mga uprisings na nakaugat sa pagkain. The Basi Revolt of Ilocos. Based sa mga napag-aralan mo, Rob, what do we need to do to fix the food system in the Philippines?
Well, for me, food security has to be thorough. Because, for example, we have the Michelin guide. It just arrived this year, and I know that it's been a dream for a lot of our chefs to have that title, that they have a Michelin star, or at least a Beef Gourmand.
Yeah.
And that's fine, that's fine for them, and that's fine for also the people who would like to dine in these restaurants. But I feel we could have just waited a little more, because it didn't seem fair also to those people who are actually struggling in our farmlands and the cottage industries. There's just so much food insecurity right now. I go through different parts of the country and I talk to these artisans who are struggling to actually sell their product. For example, in Antique, I I went to this saltern, and they were known for making salt in bamboo tubes.
Wow.
Yes, very interesting, no? It's a 100 plus year old tradition. I think as far as 1823 or something like that. So more than 100 years. And the thing is, they didn't really get the support from their LGU. The closest thing the LGU did was give them plastic mats.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just to speed up the process, but not bamboo. And I'm thinking, then where is the uniqueness of the product if it's just going to be plastic, and then you have microplastics leaching out of that when it's exposed to the sun? Their excuse was it's expensive, but then, bamboo is very resilient, and at the same time, it grows fast. Why not dedicate a part of that land for bamboo groves so that you can keep cutting and using that for the tubes, and it can always replenish. So things like that, like I feel also, and aside from that, they haven't been doing well, these salt makers, ever since the Asin law was passed 30 years ago.
Oh, yes.
Remember that one?
Yes.
Yeah, so if people say the 90s were great, I don't think it was,
The Asin law. Well, to me, my good intentions in Batas, but it effectively killed artisanal salt industry.
Poorly researched, because they said 12% of the population. They said that a lot of people were suffering from
iodine deficiency.
Yes, iodine deficiency. But turns out there was only just 12% of the population, so very, very small. And the ironic thing is, our salts have been affected because of that, but we're importing uniodized salt. So I'm like, is this a joke that we have foreign or imported salts that haven't been iodized, but we can't even get our salts out in the market because they're not iodized? It doesn't make sense to me. And actually took them just like last year for the Senate to realize, oh yeah, it's been 27, 28 years, and we just realized that. Took them that long to finally talk about it. Imagine, for 27 years, they just let that thing slide. While our brothers and sisters out there by the beach are suffering with their livelihoods affected. They can't sell their salt. And I went to Cavite, and they had gray salt, which is sought after in, I don't know, like France or foreign countries. But then here, there's no market. So what do? They just use it as fertilizer for mango trees.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, sayang na.
Hindi tayo maka-scale because of the internal market also.
Yeah, and our heirloom varieties of flora as well.
Wow.
Diba? Like, for example, I taught the class last Sunday on how to make authentic puto bumbong.
Okay.
And to make authentic puto bumbong, what makes it violet is not ube. People think it's ube, but it's not. And the so-called smart ones would say, yeah, it's obviously purple coloring, violet. But the thing is, it wasn't even that in the first place. What made it violet was this specific rice called pirurutong or parirutong, wherever you are. And it's the one that gives it that distinct color. And I showed that to the class, and they were so intrigued by it. And I said the sad thing is, not a lot of lands are dedicated to growing this crop, and not just pirurutong, but there's so many beautiful heirloom varieties that we don't have anymore, or that we're losing because nobody had the priority to preserve that.
What are we prioritizing then?
Beaches for tourism. Basketball courts. The usual. And I'm just thinking, we have such a rich culture. Why don't the LGUs focus on that? Or the DOT? I mean, we're more than just Michelin star restaurants. We have a lot of great things that nobody even knows about, and even I didn't know about until I discovered it when I went to that place. And also helped too that because my friend Sherwin Felix also
Localpedia.
yes, Localpedia
Was a guest 2 weeks ago here.
Yes, he also opened my eyes to a lot of things. So when I was starting out, I was just in my desk making videos with cooking footage and all of that, and narrating information that was already in the back of my mind or what I've read and that I want to share with people.
Yeah.
But when I'm in the field, that's when it really opened my eyes.
Ibang-iba talaga, no?
Yeah.
When you're there.
Yes.
Parang there are times na overwhelming na you are surrounded by the brilliance of the community, but at the same time, you're also heavily heartbroken because this is a brilliance that everyone deserves to see. Pero hindi natin napapakita.
So that's it. Like I initially just wanted to be very neutral about things. But how can you be neutral if you see all of these injustices happening in your own country and affecting our foodways as well? So there's a lot of that. And that's why in my advocacy, I really make sure that people are aware of at least what I have discovered so I can raise more awareness. People get to know about it more, and maybe we can all work together to lobby for more visibility for these ingredients or these dishes for that matter.
But with the recent presence of the Michelin, that also gives us a unique opportunity to highlight our cuisine. Siyempre, trabaho na ng mga chefs na nanalo yun, di ba? But do you think it's, at least because they're here now, then a counter message to make people look at our ingredients beyond the global stage? Is that something that can be beneficial because of the presence of the awards?
Well, you can look at it this way. Yes, it gives more visibility to our cuisine, but at the same time, before the Michelin even arrived here, we couldn't even get our acts together. Let's be honest. With our cuisine, for example, there's a lot of misinformation, not just with outsiders, but also within ourselves. Like Filipinos would not really be so proud of their cuisine because they think it's very MSG heavy, sugar, it's too sweet, or we don't use herbs and spices like
veggies.
Yeah, our street foods are not fresh, like in Vietnam and all that. But that's just a very, it's not ignorant, but more of like a very misinformed view. And can you blame them? It's because they were not exposed to the reality of Philippine cuisines. There's just so much diversity. Like I learned that in different parts of the Philippines, we do use herbs and spices and all of those things. It's just, you can't say it's the Philippines, but you could say it's a province in the Philippines. So I plan to actually make more videos about this, hopefully within this coming year, where I will surprise people that, wow, I didn't know this dish actually had this herb, because like there's some that we already know about, but we didn't know that they actually put those things too as well. It just had been omitted through time. So,
and would you say that our food documentation, or at least the traditions from locals, communities, medyo mahina yung ating documentation of those practices? Is it even a problem of documentation or more of appreciation while documenting?
It's a bit of both, actually. Appreciation more from who's going to receive it. But I have encountered, not just me, but I've encountered like-minded cultural advocates who really work hard to bring more awareness to these dishes and their origins. I just talked recently to this Pangasinense cultural advocate, and he's working on food mapping a lot of the cuisine in Pangasinan, because his lament was, you know, we're smack dab in the middle of Pampanga and Ilocandia. And people just know about Kapampangan cuisine and Ilocano cuisine. But, you know, and people just think of us as bangos. But we are more than bangos. We have so much dishes. We have that deremen, and we have all of these other things that I wish to bring up to people. So he told me that, and I'm like, you know, I really support you, and you keep doing that. You're doing great work. And I commend people like Sherwin also, who's going out of his way, really uncovering a lot of these lost items or food mapping on the behalf of certain organizations. And you know, it's no joke for me as a quote-unquote content creator, even if I don't really see myself as that, and I'm just more of a journalist with a social media page. But I'm not like other content creators where, you know, we can just make prolific material at a breakneck speed, because that also sacrifices the integrity of your work. Me, I really slow down and really take time to research, so that when it's out, even if it doesn't have much views or whatsoever, at least you know
kompleto yung information.
Yes, you're getting your values worth. And that's what I want to give back to the Filipino people. Things that they can be proud of, because for a long time they didn't know what they could be proud of. Probably Apple the App or PB Cates,
Jessica Sanchez.
That's it. Just what they have, like 5% Filipino blood. Why not something in our own backyard? We have so much, and I don't mean people, but even just our culture.
Sobrang agree ako dun sa we don't even know what's in our own backyard. I've also always thought that the Pangasinense cuisine is Ilocano cuisine, because they're parang sila yung Tagalog part of Ilocandia, parang ganun. But when I was in Pangasinan and I had the ramen for the first time, I was like, intense yung flavor. So the ramen po, mga ka-flavors, para siyang version nila ng biko, but they use young rice na sinusunog po with charcoal habang ba tawag ito? Tawag din sa action na yun, they're milling it. They pound it. Yun. And then, it's just a very clean ash flavor na matamis na I was like, when I first had it, parang yung isip ko, grabe yung desserts natin. Mabigat siya with the rice, but you can also see yung differences in the way they cook it, and it makes it very light. I think that was the time when I said gusto kong mag-travel in Pangasinan as just Pangasinan.
Diba? Not just something to pass by on the way to Ilocos.
Doon ko unang natikman yung palitaw that they use watermelon juice instead of regular water with syrup, and then they have watermelon yema inside.
So interesting, no?
Grabe. So parang ako, isa rin yun sa mga iniisip ko now that I'm in the restaurant business, no? Parang when we talk about heritage ingredients, when we talk about the heritageness of our cuisine, who are we cooking for? Di ba? Parang when I see a very hyper local ingredients, obviously we can make small plates and beautiful plates out of it, but there's a part of me as a development specialist that asks, why are you cooking the extraordinary when a cuisine should be judged by the use of its everyday ingredients?
Exactly. That's why I'm very not supportive of the term elevating. You know, I'm not keen with it, because it's like some chef would say, "Oh, I am elevating this lapas bok choy. And I'm just thinking, why? Are you trying to make it look pretty? Why not elevate it for what it already is? You know? Maybe say you were inspired, but it would be nice to say, oh, I'm elevating this, because it means that this dish that...
For who?
Yeah, and not just that, but for those who have been enjoying it, what? It's like, it's ugly to them. It's been part of their lives, and you're going to nullify that. Right?
Yes. Ako agree ako with because to me, ang noodle dishes, especially regional noodle dishes natin, these are foods of the masses.
Yes.
Diba? Parang...
Exactly.
Since time immemorial, our noodle bowls are generous in broth, in noodles. So the best parts of it comes from the generosity of that bowl. When you elevate it, I think the default would need to ask, for whom? Kasi para sa mga, let's say, bok choy, Mickey, lomi lovers, eto yun eh. Diba? Parang babalik ka rito eh. So, to me, the elevation of Filipino food, yun yung mga pang once a year. But our cuisine has to be judged with the everyday bok choy.
Yes.
Everyday noodles.
Yes, because if you package it as something that is not what it is, then they're lying to themselves, and they're also deceiving the people. So it's a two-way street. So for me, tell the truth, show the world what Filipino cuisines really are. And diverse, they are for the people, very mass friendly, and very hearty, very filling, and not everything is fatty. They even have nutritious food, because people have this misconception that Filipino food is deadly.
Yes.
But it's not. If you go to the rural areas,
Go to Ilocos.
they have
We
vegetables.
put everything on vegetables there.
Exactly, fruits and vegetables. The earliest seasigs were fruits and vegetables. So it's really just about that, really enlightening the people and letting them know that there's so much more, not just in our food waste, but also in our culture, our history, and our identity as people, and how it affects also the dishes within their backyard. So that's my punto.
How about places in the Philippines na hanggang ngayon oral traditions pa rin yung pagpapasa-pasa ng recipes?
That maasimang manok, for example, that's just all oral talk. Like, that's redundant. Like, it's oral tradition. They pass it down. This is how you do it. You put it in this bamboo, and so on and so forth. So I wrote it down. I don't know if other people wrote it down, but at least I wrote it down. So there's reference.
Yes.
And what else?
Are there other vanishing recipes na document mo na?
Combining that with the oral traditions and borracho maravillosa. So I actually learned about it through
Maski ako, first time ko lang marinig today.
Actually, Sherwin brought it to my attention. He was saying, it's such a pity, Rob, that a lot of our foods are disappearing because nobody bothered to pass it down. Such as borracho. And I go, borracho, like the cake in Spain? Well, he couldn't give me that answer, but I really dug deep, and it is like that cake in Spain, the bizcocho borracho. Now, what they do in Samar is the sponge cake is soaked in rum, and then in between the two layers, they fill it up with limoncito which is not to be confused with the other Visayan term for calamansi.
Calamansi.
But it's these red berries which have a hint of lemon and cinnamon notes.
Na mga alatiris parang
Yeah, they look like aratilis, but they're not. And they're shaped also like tiny limes when they're unripe. But then when they're ripe, they're like red and round. And they have those essential oil blots that are typical of citrus.
Yeah.
Because they're not citrus, but they're in the same family.
Okay.
So that explains also the aroma.
Maski ako hindi ko pa siya alam. So ano pa kaya yung mga ordinary Filipino eater, especially those who grew up in Metro Manila, di ba?
Yes.
Parang ako when I first went to Ilocandia in April to do a culinary tour, I was like, Ilocano na ako eh. Alam ko na tong mga pagkain na to. Pero grabe, in 5 days, parang 80% nung kinain namin first time ko siyang kainin.
Yun,
My life. Yes. As in, nakagamit ako sa Ilocos ng river grass na river grass. Yes, they call it balayba or mermaid's hair. So meron lang siyang mineral crunchy taste na ginawa kong topping for amiki. Pero ito yung mga bagay na hindi na makakarating ng palengke dito sa Manila. And tingin ko yung mga ingredients na ganun na malapit sa culture, dapat pagdala natin. Yung respect is not just for the ingredient but the culture
yes.
that it came from. So parang ako, ang perspective ko, especially in cooking with heritage ingredients, lahat to hiniram natin from a community.
Yes.
So I'm not the storyteller. They're the stories.
Yes.
They're the storytellers actually. Dinala ko lang yung pagkain nila here. So for me, dapat may permission ka of the community to tell their stories in the way they want their stories to be told.
That's what I also see myself, more of like the interpreter, the messenger. I let them talk and tell their narrative.
Yeah.
And I just relay that, I broadcast it to the whole world. And that way people get to know more about their insights and their plight as well as a people. And that for me is important, that as a documentarist, you record and you preserve their truths.
Ano lang, logistical question. Sa mga researches mo, marami bang bata pa na sumasama with their families when they talk about recipes, or usually yung mga matatanda na lang yung kausap natin?
Most of them are old timers, but you'll find a rare young person really interested. For example, again, that Borracho Maravillosa, I actually spoke to this latest generation of the family that popularized it in Katbalogan. And according to her, I asked her, what prompted you to want to reconstruct this recipe? Because she said it's very important that Samar gets to keep this thing that becomes synonymous with them. And in a way, she hopes that more people can learn about it so they can continue that tradition. So she took that initiative when others did not. And she was fortunate that her uncle is still alive, and her uncle actually apprenticed with her grandmother in the kitchen. So he knows how to do it, and he relayed it orally. So what she did was she notated, and then she did it. She made it happen. She brought it back. And I commend people like that, because in a way, what would have been completely lost was somehow found again.
Yeah.
For a new generation.
And with documentation, ano siya, parang paano ba? Meron na siyang referential capacity.
Yes.
One. And second, yung parang for something to be written is to put life in it. Life that will not end.
Yes.
So, I mean, I respect talaga the things that you do with our ingredients, no? But on your mind, sino ba talaga yung tagapangalaga ng ating heritage?
Okay.
Is it a chef role or a people role?
it should be, it can be either.
Uh-huh.
But for me, anybody could play that part. For example, my friend Nati Ocampo Castro, she is the daughter of Nanay Luz Ocampo, who was known as the one who would carve limes,
Oh yes, I saw that.
Bulacan, in San Miguel. So Nati was working in Meralco, as far as I recall, and she retired early, and she had so much free time, and her mom was still alive, and she noticed that her older sisters did not want to continue the tradition. So since now she had free time, she took it upon herself to apprentice under her mom. And good that she did, because after Nanay Luz passed, now she's the only one left who is doing that sort of thing. Well, her husband is helping her now, so that's very good. And I also made an initiative to learn from her as well. And I documented it. I documented her process. So in the future, it's there for anybody who wants to recreate and inuk it. It's all about that. People who are interested to preserve that or to document it.
Okay, ang dami natin na pag-usapan today. Magla-last question ako. Para sa mga ordinaryong Pilipino who share the same advocacy as us, no? Parang how do we help Filipino food? How do we help tell the story of our cuisine? Kung wala silang alam, kung wala tayong alam or they're not in the food systems industry like us, saan pwedeng magsimula yung mga kapwa natin Pilipino to forward the same goals that we have?
I would say, like I said, could have been anybody. Doesn't have to be doesn't have to be a chef, doesn't have to be anybody from F&B. But for me, as long as you're interested, even if you're not participating through the production of the food, but just careful word of mouth, like, hey, I heard about this thing, you should check it out, or we should go to this place.
So puntahan yung Filipino food.
Yes.
Okay.
Even just a local carinderia that specializes in a particular dish. It wouldn't be an institution if it wasn't for the word of mouth. Like, oy, punta tayo dyan, ang sarap yung pares nila. You know, things like that. That's why, that, for example, pares, that whole Retiro strip, Amoranto, it became well known because there was one place there that established pares, which was, if I recall, Jonas, and then from Jonas there was original Pares Mami House nearby, and then soon a lot of paresans started sprouting out, and people kept going there because of the pares. Same thing with La Loma as well, with the lechon, because one guy decided to sell roasted pig, and then another guy decided to do it, and then people kept going there, and then more businesses sprouted. So we as consumers also play a part. That not just the producers but the consumers, because if there's no consumers, then the producers have nothing to make or nothing to gain from that. So it, like I said, it's really a two-way street.
Okay, so any last words to our to our listeners? Paano nila masusubaybayan ang documentation mo pa of Philippine cuisine and your work?
Please follow Histolinario Collective. It's HISTOLINARYA Collective, and on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. So you can follow my advocacy and all the things that I uncovered during my adventures, and as well see the products that I also preserve for today's generations
Yes.
to discover.
Sobrang sarap nung burong pakaw, mga friends.
Thank
so
you.
kung batawag dito, hindi nyo pa natitikman, this is your chance.
Yes, the big hit now, aside from the burong paho, is the banana ketchup of Mariposa.
Oh yeah, I saw.
Yes,
Oh.
so I've heard about people not liking banana ketchup, but the people who bought from me, they said that even their family members who never liked banana ketchup just kept using my bottle. So it's me changing the game, changing the perception of
Yeah.
people, which is good. So it's
And
like,
banana ketchup is distinctly ours. diba?
yes, exactly. And iba talaga eh. It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay mga ka-flavors, isa na naman pong episode ang nasubaybayan natin. Maraming natutunan. I'm sure ako sobrang dami kong natutunan today. Maraming salamat, Rob, for giving us the chance to talk to you today. We're very proud of your advocacy and we will support as much as we can. Sa ating po mga tagapakinig, ito na po yung ending ng ating episode today. At abangan nyo po ang mga susunod pa nating episodes with more interesting guests and people who can help us expand our consciousness of Filipino cuisine. Wow, ang dami ko in English today. So, magandang gabi po at ingat po tayong lahat. Muli, ako po si Jason from Chining's Kitchen Stories. Ito po ang Pinoy Flavors with Chef Jayson. Magandang gabi po.
Magandang gabi.
Gusto nyo ba